Supercross. It's a modern-day return to the Roman Colosseum as supercharged chariots do battle on a bed of dust and dirt. Today, the gladiators are in Toronto as we welcome you to the 1984 Molson Supercross.
Molson Supercross, we're riding in the Molson Supercross, and it's turning up the Molson Supercross.
Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. It was built way back in 1907 and rebuilt in 1948 after a fire. It played host to Grey Cups and grandstand shows, and in 1976 was expanded for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Today, this stadium is the home of the Grey Cup champion Toronto Argonauts and the red-hot Toronto Blue Jays. But neither team would recognize the artificial surface tonight. That's because front-end loaders, bulldozers, an army of men, and over 400 truckloads of dirt have transformed Exhibition Stadium into a grueling, twisting motocross track. And today, the greatest riders in the world will challenge this track in the 1984 Molson Supercross.
Over 150 competitors are entered in this event, and a crowd of 40,000 is expected to fill the stands. My co-host is an expert on motocross racing.
Larry Bastedo joins us now. And Larry, why all the excitement over the motocross?
Well, the motocross is just thrills right from the word go. It's a tremendous race. It's when they get to the final, it's 20 laps, flat out, one flinch, you're out of it, you'll be last. It is incredible. You just wait and see. You won't believe that final.
Larry, I know a lot of people won't admit it, the fans here, but don't a lot of them come to see the spills and the crashes?
Well, I think motocross is, especially supercross, is beyond the blood sport thing. I think now it's progressed to a good sport. The riders are absolute athletes. The motorcycles are just so much better than they've ever been before. I think you're going to see a tremendous show. These guys are athletes. Watch them go hard for 20 minutes.
Thanks, Larry. The bikes are revved up and ready to go for the 1984 Molson Supercross.
The course starts with a long straightaway that quickly turns 180 degrees. This will separate the slow from the fast. A series of hairpin turns is followed by the bone-shattering whoop-de-doos. A 90-degree turn leads into a tight hairpin before the riders face the King Kong jump and Molson Mountain, a high bank corner that sends the competitors back to the first straightaway where the finish line is located. Let's see some action on the course now as we watch highlights of the preliminary bike heats. Larry Bastedo, what kind of strategy goes on at the start?
Well, the start is tremendously important. The riders have to be really pumped when they get towards that first corner, just coming into it. There's a lot of bumping going on. Everybody is very, very tight. If you're in the top 2 or 3, you may get away without it. But after that, it's a matter of put up your arms and muscle.
Here's a good overview of the course as the bikes head into that tight hairpin. In this heat, Ricky Johnson of El Cajon, California, took an early lead on his Yamaha.
Ricky's a tremendous rider. He should get away from this crowd in the heat race.
The top 2 riders from each preliminary heat move directly into the finals, while those placing 3rd through 10th gain entry into the semifinals.
It's a lot better for a rider to go directly to the final. Gives them more time to prepare.
What about these whoop-de-doos here? What do the riders have to do, Larry?
Well, the important thing is to get the rhythm down. It's very important you land in exactly the right spot and get the throttle back on. The first 3 are quite far apart. It is possible to jump 3, but most riders, I think, will jump 2. Only the very best will go for 3.
After 7 laps, Johnson had gained a full lap over several of the other riders and easily took this heat and moved into the finals. Johnson was a late entry here tonight, but has to be considered a favorite after this performance. The second preliminary heat, and once again, the incredible bottleneck as the riders fight for those all-important first positions.
Right here's where a lot of bumping and grinding goes on.
There's an obvious disadvantage to being in the middle of the pack.
That's where the real racing happens, though.
The number 35, George Holland, took the lead in this preliminary and immediately began to lap the slower riders.
He's one of the new young stars in this sport. He's somebody to watch.
On the 7th and final lap, this is George Holland breezing on to the finish, and he's got himself a spot in the final.
Holland's just a young boy. He's only 18 years old. This is his first season on the Supercross circuit. He's definitely a rider to watch in the final.
The third heat features the Canadian favorite, Ross Peterson of Medicine Hat, Alberta. He's had a great showing on the circuit recently, including a big win at Montreal. In this heat, he treated the partisan crowd to the style that's been working well for him.
You know, Ross is really the first Canadian that's been able to run up front in the American Supercross Series. He is a tremendous rider, tremendous athlete. Watch him here as he gets to the outside of this berm and laps the back marker. Around the outside, the powers on them berms are very, very difficult to hold on to at the top speed.
Ross Peterson advanced to the final showdown with an easy victory in his qualifying heat. The crowd is solidly behind the Canadian champion, and we have all the makings of a great final coming up later in the show.
Motorcycles aren't the only attraction here tonight. The VF Goodrich Challenge race offers a race called the Autocross. These vehicles look like they've just come out of a Mad Max movie or something. They combine the speed and the power of stock car racing, the bumps and grinds of motocross, and of course the excitement of dune buggy racing as well. During the car races, I'll be joined by Cam McRae. And Cam, what type of guts and guile will these drivers have to win this race?
Well, I think some of the guts and guile is out of it for most of these racers. They're seasoned professionals, and concentration will be the key tonight. One lapse and you're a loser.
Cam, with 14 vehicles on the racetrack at one time, what's the potential for collision in this race?
Very high. It's going to be a very aggressive feature. We're looking for a lot of bumping and shoving because everybody wants a win here at Toronto.
The sun is setting as we get set for the first qualifier of the VF Goodrich Challenge race. 9 cars in this heat. Top 4 go to the final. Cam, the course is slightly modified for the cars.
Yes, they cut out some of the center sections. They're far too intricate for the cars. The cars have a wheelbase that's about twice as long as the bikes. They can get high-centered, dead in the water, so they cut out the rough stuff.
At first right now, number 18, John Becca from Derry, New Hampshire. He's followed by number 54, Lee Wiesthoff from Macon, Wisconsin. Cam, what separates the good from the bad? Is it experience or quality of machine?
Well, at this level of competition, these guys are at the top of their form. The cars are the best and the drivers are the best. We have a good couple of rookies in here, and here comes Lee Wiesthoff going by John Becca on the outside. That's a good example. Becca's a newcomer to the sport. Wiesthoff is a seasoned professional. Uh-oh, there goes Becca over right hard, and he's upside down and out of it in this qualifier.
Lee Wiesthoff out in the lead after that spectacular crash by Becca.
Wiesthoff is a seasoned outdoor racer on the longer tracks. He's really finding his way now in stadium racing as well.
Wiesthoff's car held on in the latter stages of this race to maintain the lead. The checkered flag sent Wiesthoff into the final of the car event. Qualifier number 2, and the green flag goes down. The cars continue to fly. Occasionally, the odd one gets grounded. Scott Gilman, number 41 from Anaheim, California in the early stages. But number 2, John McPherson, the local favorite from Pickering, Ontario, wasn't far behind. He took the lead on the backstretch.
Mark, this is a big night for John McPherson. This afternoon, I talked to him about his local boy status.
Yeah, I've been racing here for about 3 years. I started out just racing in fields and whatnot and on open tracks. And this has, gone a long way. I never thought I'd ever be racing in front of 40,000 people. And then last week in Montreal, we're in front of 60,000 people. So things have come a long way.
John went a long way in this race to build up a commanding lead and take first place at the line in qualifier number 2. The stadium's just about filled to capacity for the Molson Supercross as the third and final qualifier gets underway.
Really gets out of the way. There it is, the kind of spill you'd have to expect in that tight pack right after the start. Number 10, Bill O'Brien of Avon, Connecticut, wraps himself around Richard Nagenat of Bois-de-Filion, Quebec.
Richard doesn't waste any time extricating himself from the tangle. Jimmy Crowder of Tallahassee, Florida was oblivious to that mess as he established a strong lead midway through this race. Flying off the jump just after the start stretch.
Jimmy's about 1,200 miles from home. He's 50 years old and a seasoned racer. He's been at it since he was 20 years old.
Crowder hugs the tail of number 21, Russ Wood of Toronto, but Russ is a full lap behind. It's Jimmy Crowder of Tallahassee who takes the checkered flag and wins the final preliminary heat.
The cars are built for this type of racing. They have speed, maneuverability, and safety, which are all factors. Of course, that doesn't prevent the occasional roll either. Earlier, Cam McRae explained why they're known as the cars that fly.
This is John McPherson's championship autocross car. They used to call these things dune buggies. Remember the chopped-down Volkswagens with the bed frame roll cages? We've come a long way since then. A Volkswagen mechanic might do a double take at this front suspension. The trailing arms are the same as on a Volkswagen, but a closer look would reveal that it's a true race piece. There's not one stock Volkswagen component left in it. At the rear of the car, the trailing arm suspension is still with us, but Dr. Porsche would hardly recognize it. It's all disguised in miles of tubing, and these shock absorbers, designed to take the tremendous pounding of off-road racing, were $350 each. For stadium racing, they use a stock Volkswagen engine, much modified. A stock engine on the street would pull about 40 horsepower. This one is capable of 125. To get into this beast, the driver goes in through the top. Once he's mounted, he's held in by a 5-point restraint harness. 2 belts over the top, a 3-inch lap strap across the side. Down through the front, he's got what's called an anti-submarine strap. That's to keep him from getting wrapped up around the pedals in case he dives into the Blue Jays dugout.
The Molson Supercross will continue in a moment. The semifinals of the Molson Supercross. There are 20 riders in the first semi, but only 4 will advance to the final. Joining me once again is Larry Bastedo. Larry, these starts continue to amaze me.
Well, it's incredible the courage it takes off the starting line. You must be able to ignore what's happening around you, even if it includes a shunt from the rear, a knee in your side, anything. Ignore it.
Number 89, Darren Sharuga of Calgary, Alberta in the lead, hoping to join Ross Peterson in the final. It seems there's a great crop of riders coming out of Alberta.
You know, it's said that perhaps he is the next Ross Peterson on the circuit.
Oh, and we have a rider down. That's number 76, Terry Hoppus of Surrey, BC.
Terry's a former national champion. He's been plagued with injuries all year. His concentration is off by just a little.
Larry, what constitutes ideal conditions, and how does tonight's course stack up?
Well, obviously, weather is a problem. It's been a problem here in Toronto in the past, although not tonight. The course is in excellent shape. No dust. It is not quite as technical as courses we've had here in the past, but it certainly is very, very challenging for the riders, especially that triple jump.
What about physical conditioning? How important is it to these riders?
You know, in most sports, a guy goes out there, he perhaps goes for 2 or 3 minutes at a time. These fellas in the final, they get out there, it's 20 minutes of absolute flat-out racing. If they hesitate at all, if they rest half a lap, they can forget it.
At the line, Darren Sharuga flashes through to secure a spot in the final. He's followed by number 26, Doug Hoover of Mount Albert, Ontario. The second semifinal, 18 riders hoping to reach that climactic final, and believe me, this crowd of 40,000 can't wait either.
Pressure's on. Here they come into corner 2. There's a problem on the outside there. I see 2, 3, 4 riders down. Somebody's not getting up. A couple of riders are up, picking up their bikes now, but there's 1 rider down to stay.
Coming out in front is number 61, Mark Murphy of Fort Myers, Florida. The man injured and still down after that spill, Stefan Horick of Quebec. Meanwhile, Mark Murphy holds on to his lead.
Mark is one of the new stars.
Larry, how crucial is this section of jumps here?
This is the whoops. This is very, very crucial. You could lose as much as a whole second a lap on this one section of the track. Certainly the most critical section of the whole racetrack.
Larry, how powerful are these motorcycles?
Mark, they're 50 horsepower, 225 pounds, a better power-to-weight ratio than Formula One cars on the circuit today. They're tremendously difficult to control on the bumps.
It looks like Stefan Horick is all right. How common are accidents like that in this sport, Larry?
The The accidents themselves are very, very common, Mark, but the serious injuries are not.
And so Mark Murphy proceeds to the final. The stage is set for the car final, featuring the best buggy drivers in the world. Cam McRae, is there an odds-on favorite tonight?
It's a wide-open race, Mark. McPherson, of course, but we also got to watch for Scott Taylor, Ernie Jakubowski, and Scott Gilman.
Right now, the leader is Scott Gilman, number 41 from Anaheim, California. He's followed by Scott Taylor and Ernie Jakubowski from Oakville, Ontario in third. Cam, it looks like there's no holds barred in this one.
This is a grudge match. There's a lot of ego on the line tonight. They're going to declare a king of the hill.
As they finish lap 1 with 9 to go, we'll return with more of the car final here at the Molson Supercross. The finals of the BF Goodrich Challenge here at the Molson Supercross. You've got the best seat in the house. Well, almost. We're in lap number 4, and Cam McRae, Scott Gilman continues to lead this race.
Gilman has started to dominate. He's already pulled out a good lead, 3 or 4 car lengths, sliding tight around that infield corner. He is up all over the place, but he's running very, very smoothly. That's Scott Taylor right behind him. Uh-oh, Gilman's in trouble. He's down the back straight. He's idling off the track. It looks like he's got some kind of driveline problem. I guess it would be transmission.
And so this is Ernie Jakubowski trailing behind Scott Taylor, the leader, and there's plenty of time for the local favorite to thrill this crowd of 40,000 with a victory here tonight.
Taylor is moving very, very well, but Jakubowski is very strong. Look at it. That's a very, very exotic car. He built it himself right here in Ontario.
And in third spot, this is Jimmy Crowder. He won a preliminary heat, and he's got the power to come on strong.
Over the jump, Scott Taylor one more time. And here comes Crowder again. Bill Lefebvre from Limehouse, Ontario. There's Taylor, a beautiful Protect. Great little car. Taylor is another one of these guys that builds his own cars. Amazing. These are techno geniuses. Scott Taylor continuing to hold on to the lead. Jimmy Crowder going by in third position. And here comes Taylor again, tight to the inside with Jakubowski starting to press. He's still only 3 or 4 car lengths back over that high jump, doing very well. Moves right up tight on his tail, gives him a little bit of bump. Taylor going to the outside, Jakubowski to the inside. He's got the lead. Jakubowski well into the lead, way past Scott Taylor. A beautiful move by Ernie Jakubowski. Look at this. Jakubowski maintains his lead only inches ahead of Scott Taylor over the jump. Round into that one turn, and Jakubowski wide. Over the long jump and into that one corner.
And now Cam, this is Taylor on the outside taking the lead with an incredible burst of speed.
Look at this. Taylor loses the same spot as Gilman. And once again, Jakubowski is the leader. Mark, earlier, Ernie and I talked about the risks involved in autocross.
Well, it's a lot safer in one of these off-road race cars. It's cost me $1,000 last weekend, but it was just a small nudge, and the tires hooked up, and I went into the one of the concrete barriers. Fortunately, tonight there's no concrete barriers out there to run into.
There seems to be nothing stopping Jakubowski now. It's been a topsy-turvy race, but right now, Ernie Jakubowski of Oakville, Ontario, has solid control of first place here in the final lap of this race.
Ernie and Navanis are doing a beautiful job. Never putting a wheel wrong. You can see the suspension working. Very smooth, very competitive. Beautiful job all the way around. And there's the checkered flag for Ernie Jakubowski.
In second spot is Crowder. John McPherson of Pickering, Ontario in third. Cam, quite a race.
One of the best. And a great win for hometown favorite Ernie Jakubowski.
Before we move on to today's finals, let's take a look at the lighter side of Supercross racing with highlights from the Nissan 4x4 celebrity race.
I have never really driven a truck before in my life, nor too great of a driver with a stick. But I'm having a lot of fun. My competitors are super, my other drivers, and we're just going to have fun with it.
When celebrities like Dominique Moret, the Penthouse Pet of the Year, and Todd Brooker, the Crazy Canuck, take control of this course, the result can be anything but predictable.
But you can do something in between. Maybe you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Maybe you can drive my car. And maybe I love you. I told that girl at my
runs, it was Todd Brooker, number 6, Bruce Good of the Good Brothers, number 7, his brother Brian, number 4, and superstar Brian Budd in truck number 3 for the big final. Bruce Good took the lead from Todd Brooker.
Maybe you can drive my car.
But being the wild and crazy Canuck that he is, second place would not do.
Maybe you can drive my car. And maybe I love you. Maybe you can drive my car. Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Maybe you can drive my car. And maybe
Sandwiched between two Good Brothers who happen to be good drivers, Todd Brooker adds one more trophy to his collection with the Nissan Celebrity Championship.
So I think we're all really good friends off the track and that, but we're all out there for one goal, and that's to win. So we're good friends, and I don't think we're too good of friends on the track.
The words of Alan King set the tone for the race this enormous crowd has been waiting for here at Exhibition Stadium, the final of the Molson Supercross. And once again, Larry Bastedo joins me. Larry, this is what it's all about.
Money, points, and glory. It's all right here. It's going to happen now.
In the hairpin section, the front runners are Ricky Johnson in first, Ross Peterson of Medicine Hat, Alberta second. He's the crowd favorite. And in third, number 117, Alan King of Troy, Michigan.
Pedersen's been having trouble with these triples all night. He only did a double there, and it looks like King might catch him with a triple. Ross only accomplished that triple jump once earlier tonight in practice. He got off and did it very, very well. I don't know what his problem is. He doesn't seem to have the takeoff quite right. He's landing on top of that second one. Believe me, if he tries that third one and misses, it's going to really hurt. Earlier, we talked to Ross Pedersen about the triple jump.
Yeah, I did it once out there, and then later on in the practice I had a problem, so I never got to try it again. But it's pretty tough. It's going to make it interesting anyway.
And heading into the triple jump, Peterson is passed on the inside by Alan King.
A definite disappointment for Peterson. He has beat King consistently all season. I can't quite understand what Peterson's problem is.
So it's the Americans, Johnson and King in first and second, followed by Peterson, the Canadian, in third. We'll return with more of the Molson Supercross final. The ups and downs of Supercross racing are in full view here at the Molson Supercross as the final race continues.
Can Peterson pull out the stops here, running in that third position? This is the time he has to do it.
Ricky Johnson of El Cajon, California remains in first, followed by Alan King of Troy, Michigan, and Ross Peterson of Medicine Hat, Alberta.
Ricky's going for it here. He's got a good lead. I doubt that King can catch him, but can Peterson catch King for that second position? That's what it comes down to now. A lot of points and a lot of money are on the line right here.
Ricky Johnson was a late entry in this race, and earlier I asked him why.
It was sort of a last-minute deal for me. I was racing the Supercross out in Pasadena, California, and the promoter came up and asked me if I'd like to come up here because this is one of the few off weekends I've had. And I've heard a lot of good things about Canada and the racing up here, so just wanted to give it a go, and here I am.
That's number 25, Ricky Johnson, continuing to hold this lead over Alan King, number 117, and number 1, Ross Peterson. 3 laps to go now, Larry.
This will be a great ride for Alan King. This is probably one of his best rides in Supercross. I don't believe he's ever run this far up before. He's running in that second position. The concentration is on now. 25 still out in front. Ricky Johnson, the Californian, but Alan King is putting the pressure on from that second position.
I'll tell you, these fellows must have nerves of steel and ice water in their veins to go at this at such a phenomenal pace.
The pace is the thing in Supercross. It takes about 15 minutes to run a final. They have to just be right on top of it every minute. The track is very, very technical. One small slip, and I mean a very small slip, and you're out of it. Forget it.
So number 25, Ricky Johnson of El Cajon, California, continues to lead as this race winds down. Look at him go over that jump.
Just tremendous. You know, sometimes when they go over the jump, they have to land on the rear wheel. Other times, because of the landing that they're coming to, they have to force the front wheel down.
1 lap to go.
It looks like it's Johnson. He's holding on to it. Look at the last riders just in front of him. That could be a problem for him.
Just took a look over his shoulder as well, sorry, Larry, to see where his competitors were.
He'll do that, but he has to watch them fellas in front of him. One of them can cause him a problem. Look at the big barrier he gives them.
Ricky Johnson sails off the King Kong jump over the Molson Mountain, and here's the checkered flag. The triumphant wheelie, and Ricky Johnson is the winner of the 1984 Molson Supercross. The winner again, Ricky Johnson of El Cajon, California. Rick, what did it for you?
I had a slight advantage where I could jump 3 instead of like most of the other riders that are jumping 2.
And you felt you had it all the way through?
Yeah.
Did you know what was happening behind you?
Well, my mechanic, Cliff Lett, was giving me pit signals and let me know what was going on behind me. And I could sort of see looking across from turns. And I knew that I had a pretty comfortable lead. Everything turned out really good.
And so as the course is cleared and the artificial turf is made ready for the next Blue Jays game, I'm Mark Hebscher for Cam McRae and Larry Bastedo saying so long from the 1984 Molson Supercross.
This portion of CTV's Wide World of Sports has been brought to you by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786.